marker. So we're gonna start. Okay, so there's S, A, B, C, D. If you've never seen a tier list, basically we're putting them where they belong. We're putting them where they belong. CBS All Access. So this is an older list. I pulled one from the interwebs. CBS All Access is now Paramount Plus. And their biggest thing that they have is Yellowstone, but they fucked up. They don't have like the full streaming rights to Yellowstone. Peacock, I believe it's Peacock that actually has those right now. And so they're made, and it's not even a streaming show because they have it on their Paramount television station. And that's the one thing they have. As far as like regular TV goes, they have, I guess, Ghost on CBS is like their new hit. They have their Dick Wolf Productions. Do they have Dick Wolf Productions? No, they're the NCIS. They're the company that brought you NCIS. I'm putting them in the D. They're going in the D. D is where they belong. Sorry, Paramount Plus. We're gonna come back to Disney Plus because Vaughn wants that one done, and I'm gonna hold off on it. Hulu. You know what? Before this video, like, give them the D. Before this video, I would have said Hulu is S tier, like number one. They've got FX. You know FX. They have the movies. And FX, like, is like, you have HBO for, like, HBO is up here. Like, FX is like, FX and HBO are just like, just switching it back and forth. My concern with Hulu is Disney is starting to dip in there. I noticed that Disney Plus has some ABC shows now that Disney owns like a portion of Hulu. It makes me worry like about how much of that is going to transition. Like I pay $16 for Hulu. Now you're like, Nick, why are you paying $16 for Hulu? I have the Hulu Showtime. After I watch Yellow Jackets and we need to talk about Cosby, I'll probably get rid of it. Otherwise, like Hulu standalone is great. I'm worried that Disney's gonna start getting a hair, gonna buy out the who's the other? Well, it's only expensive because I have the extra package. I got that for Dexter back at the end of last year. But I'm just really worried that Disney's gonna fold the two into one. And then I'm gonna be paying like $30 for Disney Plus, the Disney Plus Hulu monstrosity. So you know, if you'd asked me a week ago before Disney started doing that, I would have said, "Oh, Hulu's S tier." Now it's got me worried. I'm gonna say it's an A tier. Again, the FX stuff is great. Their original programming is awesome. They've got Shrill. They've got those October like short Halloween movies they do. The Great is also great. They're also been doing limited series. So they did Little Fires Everywhere from Hello Sunshine. That's Reese Witherspoon's company, and she was in that, and she was great. She played a great Karen. Thought she was the perfect cast for that. They had Normal People, which was a book from 2 years ago, just about love, just about two people. Will they? Won't they? It was great. It had the best depiction, like the most realistic depiction of sex in a show. Fubo. I don't know this Fubo. Does anyone here know Fubo? You know what? Let's Google Fubo and see what's going on with the Fubo. Fubo TV. Just give me the wiki page, guys. I don't need... Fubo TV is... Actually, I need to whitelist this because I've already got... There we go. An American streaming television service customer in the United States, Canada, and Spain that focuses primarily on channels that distribute live sports depending on the country. Channels offered by Fubo may include EPL, NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, MLS, CPL. So Fubo. So it sounds like it's our sport boys. But you know what? Sport companies, like, they're so weird right now. Like the NFL, like, who knows what channel a game is gonna... I just saw the announcement that like every Thursday night game is gonna be on Prime. So it's like, where the who's where now? Where can I watch the game today? I think they're gonna be the D. Just based on my experience with the NFL, and I'm sure like Premier League, other leagues are just as bad. And all those sport leagues are like trying to get their own apps anyway. Like, what is it? MLB Season Pass. All that, no, it's getting the D because sports need to find themselves, need to figure out what they're gonna do, because all these TV deals they run in wild. HBO Max, these are the guys they took the risk last year. A lot of WB movies straight to theaters, but it paid off. A lot of people have HBO Max. Big hit TV shows. They have, was it Raised by Wolves, Succession, The Righteous Gemstones, Avenue 5's coming around for a second season here soon. They canceled that Stephen King show from about a year and a half ago. Great comedies. They still have Curb. Curb's like kind of grown into its own thing. They got brave and finally did a movie for The Sopranos. I'm sure they're going to be dipping back into that IP like numerous times. If they like, the movie was so received, but I could see him dipping back in. I see him dipping back into trying to get some more day one movies. Like they're gonna find some company that's like, yeah, you know what, the box office hasn't been too good to us. You know, maybe give us a cut, HBO. Here you can have Hotel Transylvania 5 when it comes out in 2 years. You know, I'm tempted. I think we have our first X or S. Now I will say the rewind button is shit. Like if you try to rewind, you might as well try to learn a different language. You have a better chance of doing that than rewinding something in HBO Max. So you've been warned. Same for fast forwarding. Oh, Netflix. Netflix. I just got an email this morning. The price is going up again. And this is concerning because there hasn't been an announcement that Glow Season 4 is happening. Like, what even does Netflix have? They're going hard in the movies. They're so clingy, too. Netflix like, don't leave me, please. We've got the photo booth movies. You like those, don't you? Come back, please. So I like Space Force. A lot of people hated season 1, but I think a lot of people forget the Greg Daniels comedies. You know, season 1 usually they're finding their footing. Like The Office and Parks and Rec, like they had to find their footing, and season 2's like took off, and people still season 1 was, but I can see Space Force season 2 taking off for them. Inside Job, a lot of the team from Gravity Falls did that one. Sex Education is still in. That's pretty popular. I've heard about that one. In fact, one of the popular Twitter writers I know, James, did a breakdown of that pilot. I've kind of been thinking about doing something with the Wilford one because I like that format of like sitting there. Like I thought about like buying the DVD and like playing it in the background and like pause it, like talking about that, and I'd like that idea. But yes, I digress. Sex Education is good. Glow was good when they still had it. You know, the movies are starting to hit with the Oscars. And Power of the Dog, most nominated this season. See, my issue is there's just so much bullshit, so much, and they don't really have any. It seems like if it's non at Netflix at this point, it's not going to be on Netflix. Everyone we're at a point where everyone's got their own shit. I could see it being A tier with Hulu, and even Arcane. People liked Arcane. I still need to watch it, but it sounds like they're kind of hit or miss with anime, like the old Marvel. Oh, they're pulling the old. Oh, I didn't know they were pulling the old Marvel stuff. I guess Disney came knocking and said, "Hey, we made this." It's the old meme of I made this, and then like the guy taking it and like I made this. Man, that sucks. Disney's probably like, you can keep the Defenders though. Man, I don't know. And then they cancel shows weirdly. Like people really liked Teenage Bounty Hunters. That was really well received. Though they do upload all the episodes in this season at once, and that's pretty awesome. They do. And Cobra Kai is really good. They got that out of the bargain bin from YouTube TV. We'll get to them later. So, like, when the shows hit, they hit. But, like, there's just so much shit you have to dig through. I'm going to put them in A tier for now. Maybe something could come along that changed my mind. Peacock. You put all your eggs in the Super Bowl and Winter Olympics basket. B the next time they raise the price. Yeah. Peacock, what were you thinking? Hey, the eyeballs will be there for the Winter Olympics. Like, you guys haven't been like running the Winter Olympics for how long now, and you thought that was going to save you? Peacock is the NBC Universal app. They have some stuff, so they have AP, but like anything that's on NBC, it's there. They have AP Bio. They have, here we go, the McGruber Show. So they'll play Keenan, they'll play Young Rock, both of which I still need to watch. Mr. Mayor, all those Dick Wolf productions and those Chicago Fire, Chicago Med, Chicago PD, Chicago Playground Investigators. They're fine. They're okay shows. Peacock, nobody wants you. They have the Psych movies, which I really need to. I love Psych. I need to watch them. My favorite two favorite characters ever. But Peacock, you're going in the D. Nobody has you. Prime Video. So this one kind of has the unfair advantage of like, you get it, but it's not the main thing. It's just like getting like the Twitch thing. Like you're not. It's something. It's like a side effect. It's not what you're going in for. If you're catching my drift. So like you get it and you're like, okay, this would be cool. They usually have a good selection of movies, but really it pushes you. Lord of the Rings and WOT right now. Yeah, oh yeah, I forgot WOT. Did Lord of the Rings start yet, or is that still on its way? But I do feel like people sleep on Prime Video, so they have those. They have I like Upload again. Greg Daniels season 1. It takes a little bit to pick up, but season 2 is going to take off for them. They have the Jack. What was it? Kaiser. Wheel of Time was the most watched show in its first 30 days. Lord of the Rings is either gonna like, I think Lord of the Rings is gonna take off, but then also piss a bunch of people off, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see, because they're working their asses off on that, and I'm probably gonna love it, but there are gonna be some whiny MFers watching that. And Prime Video, like they've always got, and they also have X. Oh yeah, people love that too. I need to. I have so many things I still need to watch. Prime Video very sneaky Prime Video. Now they do have those duds like that Chris Pratt movie that they like were heralding all last summer, and you're just like, oh, this looks stupid. So that'll hit them. But I think they're a solid B. I really do think they're a solid B. So I'm going to put them in the B. I look forward to Lord of the Rings, but not the bitching. I just want to see how petty people get. I'm leaning on the more positive side of things like these days now, but you know, it's just like a train wreck. Like I can't look away. If you include the other bonuses the Prime Video gives. Oh yeah. Vaughn, you're kind of tempting. Like you really do get so much from it. You're not just streaming. You know what? I think you talked me into an S. And it surprises you. Like I go back to them to watch Psych. Like they still have Psych. Psych belongs, I think that Psych's Universal, and like they still have it. They're still like, hey, you could go to Peacock and watch this, but we got it all right here. We may not have the movies, but we have all the old shit, It's us. All right. Apple TV. Ted Lasso, Mythic Quest. I really liked Central Park. That was a good musical. A Little Addition. They're pretty stable because of their backing. Prime is growing. I can see Apple TV being up there too. They're not overly expensive. I think they're $5.99 a month. Great seasons, great movies. They had the Macbeth movie on there recently. Like I said, Ted Lasso, Mythic Quest, First Man on there, the space show, morning show. People love the hell out of that. And like, I don't know what their growth looks like, but it's Apple. Like, it seems like the tech companies. It seems like the tech companies that like TV's like not their main thing. It kind of feels like they're hitting their stride right now. Between like Prime and Apple, like they're really like, hey, we got this shit. And they're just climbing, and like they're going up the mountain, and Netflix is like stopping to catch its breath, and they're like, you fucking bitch, and like they're just going. Apple TV, I'm putting it in A. Like it still feels like it's missing something, but they're in a really good spot. Who's next? Quibi. I'm surprised Quibi's on this list. They're not around anymore, so like it feels like they have to go in the D. Great idea on paper. You just had the biggest idiots funding it, I feel like, who didn't quite understand. But also, like, it was out of their control. The COVID thing was out of their control. But how do you not have people want to watch videos on their phone? Okay, well, you guys know about YouTube, right? There's no limit on the length. Like, they can watch whatever they want. No. 7-minute chunks. 7-minute chunks. So Quibi was an app, came out 2020. I forget exactly who was backing it, but it was their pledge was like, hey, look, people, like, you know, you get on an Uber, you have 7 minutes. That's what we want to be. We want to be the quick 7-minute episodes of stuff, and that was all their shows. All their shows were like 7-minute episodes. So kind of if you think back to like Adult Swim, once they get past their Family Guy or whoever they run early, once they get into their main meat and potatoes of shows, that's what Quibi was. Quibi just wanted to be the short Adult Swim shows on an app. But the issue was COVID really took the piss out of their sales because they only launched on mobile. They didn't launch anywhere else. And then the shows were kind of, they were okay. I liked Doll. The Kevin Hart show was fine. There was a show with Dee from Always Sunny, and then Phil from Last Man on Earth, where they were like house flippers and they discovered like a load of drug. Like, the ideas were great. It was just like the idea of watching a whole season of TV in an hour is great. Like, I did it waiting for my son to be born. Like, we were in the hospital waiting for things to get started, and I was like, I'll check this out. I've got a free thing. And it was fine. But honestly, I'd rather watch a YouTube video. In fact, I did that the other day. I watched an hour-long YouTube essay about Metal Gear Solid 5 because when I have time to kill, like, I want something a little longer. I don't want little 7-minute chunks. Like, I'm not trying to speed that part of my life up. So they stay in the D. Sling. I don't know Sling. Let's check out Sling TV. I think this is like it's an American streaming television service operated by Sling TV, a wholly owned subsidiary of Dish. I already hate it. Video on demand services for cord cutters, offering a selection of major cable channels. Okay, so they're kind of the cable channel adder. Like, oh hey, you like your Fox News channel? Here you go. I keep saying Fox News. That is not me admitting that I watch Fox News. YouTube also has the auto check to show where you're at so you can come back later. Yes. Yeah, because like I could start my hour-long video for a 20-minute Uber, close my phone, close the app, come back. Oh shit, it's still here. And like YouTube, really good about pulling your history. They say what you will about YouTube, they can get you back into a video. I'm not crazy about the idea of just giving people straight access to a channel. It's basically channels before cable is what Sling is. I prefer Pluto TV just because they just do random weird shit. Found myself watching like half a day of Telesh.0 when I discovered what Pluto was. I could see its use though, so I'm gonna put Sling in the C. All right, we're gonna do YouTube first. YouTube TV. I mean, Sling sounds uninspired and kind of generic. Yeah, I could just see it like if like you're broke and you need something quick for a channel, like Sling sounds great. Sounds like you're not give them the D. You think? I'm gonna keep them at C right now, just because when I'm thinking of them, I'm thinking of Pluto, and I like Pluto. YouTube, I'm thinking big D. Do they even do YouTube TV or yeah, they do, because I still get the misleading like pop-ups that are like, do you want to subscribe? And it's like, don't subscribe. It's like very confusing. It's like, what am I doing here? Am I getting ready to spend money on YouTube that I don't want to spend? YouTube, they're just fucking stupid. Like, I praised Amazon. Yeah, they do, because they had to sell Cobra Kai from somewhere. They're like, you guys can have Cobra Kai, I guess. Got rid of the dislike button. And we're talking about YouTube as a whole, so who cares? Like Amazon and Apple are like moving in the right direction, and like Google's just really bad. Like, they say do no evil, but their slogan should really be like, hey, don't stick with anything. Just if we fuck up, we're out. Yeah, like I'm not gonna be using the free version and then be like, hey, for $20 you can watch this other stuff. Like, all right, I could just pay $20 somewhere else and go watch some better shit somewhere else. It's going in the D. Like, we're having the conversation. When does YouTube get bang bus? I wonder. They're going here. Besides Cobra Kai, I couldn't name anything that was on YouTube TV at any point in time. I have no interest in it. Like, even like now YouTube does streaming. Like, you can't like. Discovery on YouTube is so much better than something like Twitch, but it is so hard to like. Now with the dislike button being like discontinued, it's like, who can I trust this video? I don't know. And the D, not for quality, but just because of all the Johnny Sins content is the reason to be going there. All right, last but not least, save this one for last, Disney Plus. So I have an issue with Disney Plus, and that is because of the D. Because of the D, yes, for Pornhub and for Disney Plus and for YouTube. So they have their back catalog. Great, cool. I'm not the person for that anymore, but I could see its use. I see its value. They have Bluey, which is like a monster hit for them. They're now like 3 Pixar movies directly to that deep. Same with like their Disney animations. I think Encanto was their 3rd or 4th. Their Marvel stuff is fine. I think it's hit or miss. I think WandaVision and Hawkeye were great. I haven't seen Loki, but I think the other 3 are just kind of middling. I do like that they're doing the weekly releases instead of like everything all at once. I think that's great. I think Water Cooler Talk is going to breathe a new life into shows. I hate the short runs of shows. I think WandaVision was like 7, 8 or 7. No, it was like 9 episodes, and then everything just got shorter from there. They also added Star to their catalog, which is more artsy standard film stuff. They also I forgot about Stars. They've also they started adding stuff from ABC. So I saw Wonder Years on there. Wonder Years is great. I think Abbott Elementary is also on there, which that is the new darling for a lot of TV writers at the moment. I've seen a few episodes. I like it so far. Working in education and being married to someone who works in education, it's very relatable. But it's really, my concern with it is the shorter run times. And I think you see this in like, I know Mandalorian is really great. I don't know how season 2 was received, but like Book of Boba Fett and the shorter episode runs, it comes and goes. Like, it's so fast. Like, at that rate. So let's see, WandaVision, the Falcon and Winter Soldier, Loki, What If, Hawkeye, 5 Disney shows last year. Book of Boba Fett was too short, and they're 2 Disney shows deep now. They're just like longer episode runs, and I think that's what keeps it from S. I think I'm totally okay with putting Disney in A. I can't see them being S just because episode runs are just so fucking short. And like Disney, like the new trilogy bombed. Like, you need to take your time, slow down, and like really like develop some characters. And I don't think you can do that in just 6 episodes. It seems crazy to me to even try. Like, do 10 episodes, do 12, like give people small side stories, give them time to breathe with these characters, because right now you're just telling stories, and like, yeah, the stories are captivating, but there's no time to breathe and care about the characters outside of what's happening now. I think Hawkeye did okay with, like, Hawkeye was another short one at 6, but I think Hawkeye did okay with it, but that was following like a pretty tried and true formula, I feel like. But it was also balancing a lot of characters from a lot of different IP across Marvel. So it's like, guys, there's so much shit. Give us, like, slow it down, like, parse it out. Like if you're going to do if you're going to do 6 episodes, you might as well just make a 2-hour movie. Might as well. Because once you get past all the credit stuff in each episode, Hawkeye felt rushed in the end personally. And when they Kate Bishop and the other assassin lady, like that was great. I love that. Like I loved it. But yeah, it did feel rushed in the end. They introduced the baddie in the last episode and then kill him. Like, well, we know he'll be back, but come on, Kate and Yelena. Kate Bishop. Are you saying my last name just so you know that just so I know you know my last name? Yep, Kate Bishop. Kate Bishop. That was probably my favorite scene in the show. But Disney, slow it down, man. Just slow it down. You have all this IP. Like, come on. Make a plan, stick with it. Stop rushing things out, 6 episodes. And I found out, so the rumors that like Falcon and Winter Soldier were cut down because they had like a pandemic like theme in the episodes is false. That was never true. So yeah, that show was rushed as is, but I'm sure like there were people who were like, yeah, let's latch on to that. So they think we had to change some stuff. Book of Boba Fett did the same as Hawkeye with the villain. That sucks. Shinobi! Good to see you, man. How you doing? Catching us on our new streamer night. We changed things up a little bit. We're doing Nick's backlog. What were you playing? So I took last week off, but I watched your stream a little bit between you and my brother. And like last week is just a blur. Like taking the week off was great. But now that I'm back, like I'm looking at things and I'm like, oh wow, I've been gone for a week. Pretty good. I'm pumped for Moon Knight. Moon Knight does look interesting. I like Oscar Isaac. I like that he's playing Solid Snake in the Metal Gear movie. I am pumped for that. I still think they should get Gary Oldman to play Revolver Ocelot. I'm on a Metal Gear binge right now. Me and my brother just did a podcast for the Twin Snakes. I just talked to I just had a general meeting for one of my scripts with somebody, and we talked about Metal Gear for about like 20 minutes in the meeting. It was only supposed to be a 30-minute meeting. We ended up talking for like an hour. I think Disney Plus could easily be S, but they're just a little too hit and miss right now. I really do think this headband's getting a little heavy on my head. I really do think if Disney Plus extends their shows to 10, 12 episode runs, right up to S. Otherwise, I think HBO and Amazon are up there right now. I think if you look at the A's, the closest one to moving up to S is probably Apple. I think they're one hit away. I think they just showed that they can get some great movies. Disney needs longer runs. B is No Man's Land. I'm gonna keep slinging C because they're basically reminding me of Pluto, and like when I discovered Pluto TV over the summer, I was digging it. So I can dig that, but I can also see its limitations. I think they're too desperate to make up for the sequels, so they're just throwing out tons of stuff. You know what? And I also watched. I've been watching a lot of essay videos on YouTube, and I watched one about how Yoda messed up in the prequels. And now I kind of want to watch the prequels and play KOTOR and do all this stuff. I actually kind of like the short 6-9 episodes count, but I wouldn't be mad if they added more. I just think there's this, especially when it comes, like if it were maybe like some new IP that wasn't Marvel or Star Wars, or if it was a lesser known IP, they could get away with it. There's just so much. Like Vaughn and I were kind of hitting on it with Hawkeye. Like you had, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but you had Hawkeye. You had to introduce 2 separate other heroes. You had the main villain, who wasn't even introduced till the last episode. You had I guess you'd call her the anti-hero, who was there the entire time. And you're building that all around like what has happened in the movies. Just 10 episodes, like 10 episodes. And then I haven't watched Book of Boba Fett, but it sounds like they Vaughn mentioned they did the same thing. I want to be a bigger Star Wars fan, but I want to get in. Well, the getting in's good. I will talk prequels anytime. Doing a podcast made me realize how much of a nerd I am. And you know, when you go down a rabbit hole of video essays, like I said, I did the hour-long Metal Gear one, and then I did that Star Wars. I should have been away from the computer on my break, but I was watching all that. Star Wars for the first time in 2020. I get why people don't like the prequels, but I didn't think they were terrible. I think the prequels are just too talky. They want to get super political. But people are just like, hey man, we like those lightsabers. Now, if you get me started on the sequels, I'm like, hey, man, like Finn, you had the potential to make a great like character of Finn. Like he was force sensitive in that first movie, and that fight between him and Kylo Ren was amazing. And then you kind of just make him a backseat character and don't do anything with him. Like Vaughn is very passionate about his prequel love, sequel hate. But Vaughn's not a you know what's also fascinating is how much hate the Last Jedi got. Like The Last Jedi is so like polarizing that like the latest Scream movie nonchalantly was about The Last Jedi. Which I thought that was amazing. I was like, yes, this is the best Scream ever. I love all the Screams. What am I kidding? So this is the list. This is the list, folks. Streamers, get better. Hulu, hold on. I'm gonna go through and tell every streamer what they need to do better. HBO Max, fix your fucking rewind button. Prime Video, you all right? Just stop giving Chris Pratt money. Hulu, do not let Disney Plus eat your lunch and take all your shit. I will not be paying $30 for Disney Plus when you are absorbed into that blob. Netflix, renew Glow. Do it now. Do it now. Yes, HBO, fix your dang interface too. It's terrible. Apple TV, you're the new kid on the block. I'm gonna give you a break here. Don't get cocky. You may only be $5.99, but I swear to God, I get like one of these little Netflix emails. They're like, "Oh, hey, we're raising our price." You're done. I love Ted Lasso. I don't love Ted Lasso that much. Disney Plus, guys, you have the IP. I get it. You're like the guy at the party that's like saying he's got a big old dick. It don't fucking matter how big your dick is if you don't use it properly. Disney Plus. Sling, I don't know you. You came into this party, but you know what? Just don't fuck around, man. Paramount Plus. You have Yellowstone. Now, I'm not a Yellowstone guy, but how are you gonna let Peacock have the streaming rights to Yellowstone? Figure your house out, okay? Peacock. Winter Olympics were gonna save you? What? Super Bowl, I'm sure the Super Bowl did fine. I'm sure the Super Bowl did what you wanted it to do. Nobody's subbing to Peacock after yesterday, guys. Get it together. Fubo TV. Those sports don't need you, man. Find something new. Quibi, I'm not going to kick you while you're down. RIP, homie. YouTube. Why would I pay for the cow when I've been getting the milk free this whole fucking time?